Baby, read the fine print. I've got baggage and it's all Gucci. Don't get too attached to me. Everybody act like the answer. One love like in the movies. Wasting precious time assuming. Oh, were we made to fall? And slowly exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open, I gave until empty. Got it all back by myself, now nobody can tempt me. If I turn off alone, I breathe in, embrace it on my own. Can't keep making exits from the pressure, lessons after lessons. Had to question these glaring design flaws. Can't keep love built from a love song. No, I'm not only with solo and slowly exploring what I need. Cause dozens of times I swear that I knew when the wisdom was scanty. Doesn't mean I was broken so open. I gave and 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 I. And if I'm better off alone, I breathe in, embrace it on my own. And if I'm better off alone, I breathe in, embrace it on my own, on my own. I've had my heart broken, crushed, yet I survived it. Refresh love, I've been reminded that it's all about alignment. Most people break up, most people break up. But either way, bro, life's what you make it. And if I'm better off alone, breathe in, embrace it on my own. And if I'm better off alone, I'll breathe in, embrace it on my own, on my own. Life's what you make it. And if I'm better off alone, breathe in, embrace it on my own. And if I'm better off alone, I'll breathe in, embrace it on my own.
Right, me and Swixy are back indoors from the walk. Now I've got to go shopping, get a couple things for dinner, get a couple bits of dog food. I don't know whether I'm going to get that today. I could probably leave the dog food till tomorrow because she's got enough to last at least another week, but I like to keep it stocked up. Well, she's currently eating her dinner, but she wouldn't let me take her jumper off beforehand, so she's munching her dinner while wearing her jumper that is clearly falling off. I'm going to leave Twixie to have her dinner. I'm going to head off to the shop. I need to get a couple things, so let's jump into a little montage of me walking there. Back from the shop, I got a whole chicken, got some rice, got some cookies, washing up liquid and a new sponge thing. I don't know if you've seen these things before, but they're quite handy, so I thought, you know what, instead of just having just a normal sponges, I'd grab some of these. Also got a sausage roll and some fridge raiders. But now I'm going to put the shopping away and I'll jump into the main reason of this vlog. But first of all, I'm going to get the chicken out on the plate, cut it all up, get the vegetable rice on the hob, get that ready to be eaten. Right, I've started to cut the chicken up. If you're a vegan, it's probably not a good idea you watch this part. But yeah, let's get this chicken ready. Right, well, I didn't end up making the rice. I ended up cutting the chicken up, putting it onto a plate, and I made myself a chicken and cheese wrap and just ate that instead. I'm going to do chicken and rice tomorrow. I've now just got to put the chicken into the fridge. Right, people, welcome back into this next part of the vlog, which is the main reason of this vlog, the title of it. Just want to quickly talk about men's mental health and just mental health in general. And I just wanted to speak about it, just get onto the topic about it, because I struggle with it myself. I don't really speak about it often. I speak to family members or friends about it, but I don't like speaking publicly about it. But it's got to a point where it's starting to become a big problem for people and for me in general as well. So I just thought, come on here, have a quick chat with everyone. I don't really like making these types of videos, but it is good to make these kind of videos to make that kind of like awareness about it, speak about it, speak loud about it. Also, if you can hear sounds in the background, I've got a film playing at the moment. I don't like the flat being in complete silence, so that's the reason. Ever since I was quite young, I've suffered with my mental health quite bad. Obviously, and living on my own obviously doesn't help with that whole situation of my mental health. Right, so let's jump into this topic of the video. Let's start off by saying I'm Tyler. I'm 23 years old and I've suffered with mental health most of my life. It's probably because of all the stuff happened from my childhood leading up until now when I'm an adult. Things building up, you know, things can build up quite a lot, like if you don't open up and talk about things that are going on. I know it's hard to open up. I know like you think that you can't open up, and if you open up to someone, they're going to laugh at you or they're not going to take you seriously, which obviously I've had that problem myself where I've gone to speak out about how I'm feeling and straight away I've been told, no, mental health isn't a problem, mental health is made up. Like, someone saying that to someone who suffers with mental health, it can really do damage. It can really stick in their head. Like, you start to think like his mental health all made up and everything. That's what you start to think because people are telling you that. Mental health is very, very much real. It's very much a struggle that everyone deals with. But everyone deals with it in different ways. Obviously myself, I tend to just smile, laugh, make other people laugh if I can. And that's usually my way of dealing with it. I just make people laugh, or I make jokes, or I just try and be the laugh. I try and be the happiness. When I am suffering with my mental health, I don't tend to speak up about it. I go into this mood where I shut down. I'm horrible to people. I don't like talking to people. But then on the opposite side of it, when I'm happy and everything, I still sometimes don't like talking to people. So even when I feel low, you know, things are still like a struggle. If you are suffering with your mental health, it is always good to contact your GP or a friend, family. Just try and speak up. I know it seems like it's 1,000 miles away from feeling better, 1,000 miles away from feeling 100%, but you can always try and get through it. You can always try to get through it. Like, recently I felt quite low to the point where I didn't really want to be around anymore. To be perfectly honest with you, that was where my head was at. Obviously, it's not right to think like that because everyone has a right to be here. Everyone has a right to be heard. You know, it's not right for someone to put you down in that kind of way. But my battle with my mental health obviously tracks back to when I was in school. Quite often when I was in school, I used to get bullied quite a lot. I got people taking the mick out of me all the time because I was that kid in foster care. Constantly, every single day, until the point I got moved from a mainstream school into a private school where there were other people who were also in the care system. which obviously messed my head up a bit, being pulled away from that group of people that were, well, I can't say normal because no one's normal, but you get what I mean, like from that group of your friends, like people you know, and then dumped into a school with about 20, 25 people, 30 people, and you're then having to get used to them again, them teachers again. Them teachers are looking at you different, you know what I mean? And then obviously from that point on there, when I joined the private school in 2014, I then every single day in school, I just misbehaved every single day. I was just trying to kick off all the time. I don't know why I did it, to be perfectly honest with you. It was just the fact is that I just felt like I was struggling. Obviously at that age, you shouldn't be struggling like that. You shouldn't feel like you're trapped. You should be playing games. You should be going out with mates. You should be doing things that you enjoy. But when you're struggling that much and you can't open up, you just can't just say how you feel. You just act out. You do something. You break something. And quite often, when I used to kick off in that school, I would then get put into a room which is like a quiet room. They'd put you in that room. They'd shut the door off, and the teachers would actually lock the door. I know teachers shouldn't be doing that, but that was the kind of school it was. It was a private school for people who couldn't deal with being in a mainstream school, and that's just how things were. But locking me in that room it just didn't help. It made my head worse. It made me see the teachers in a different light. I can still think back now. It's back to 2015, 2014, when I'd misbehaved. I got put in a quiet room. I was in there from about 9:30 to 10 a.m. until when school finished. I was in there myself, a chair, a table, and a bit of paper to fill out, writing lines down, telling me what I've done, like write down that I won't do it again. So it was kind of like an old-fashioned approach of it. But the head teacher was kind of old-fashioned. He owned the school. The actual head teacher owned the whole thing. He set the school up from scratch himself. And obviously the teachers were alright, but obviously having that kind of teacher around you to the point where they wouldn't deal with you, they'd put you in a room and leave you there until after school, when I'd then go back home on the train from school in absolute tears because I was just locked away like I was some sort of animal. But getting back onto the topic of mental health, obviously, if you are struggling, I know I've said this 1,000 times in some of my videos, like, just try and reach out. You know, it's not the end. It's really not the end. Like, there's ways, there's people, there's apps that you can go on to where you can contact someone to speak to them about your mental health. I've tried that myself. I quite often use this app called Calm, CALM. It's quite a good app. But I don't want to drag on too much about it because I know it's a bit of a tough subject for myself. It's a tough subject for people to watch. But just know that you're not in it alone. You're not. There's people there who want to help. There's people there who care. I know it doesn't feel like that because you feel alone. Like, I've now been alone for nearly 5 weeks. I've been alone since the start of the year. I've not really seen people. Obviously, when I go shop and I film, and when I'm up at the shopping, I see people, but they're not people I know, so it's a bit different. And being alone for 5 weeks straight can really play on your mind. Sorry if I sound like I'm going to tear up a little bit. This subject is a bit it's a bit tough for me to speak about because it's just a struggle, you know. Just to mention, before I speak about what I'm going to speak about, I have checked with friends and I've asked if they think it's okay for me to speak about what I'm going to speak about on my channel, and they think that it is good to speak about because it's in the past, but also it's good to show that awareness. So in 2019, I tried to take my own life by trying to jump off a multi-storey car park in a town called Braintree. I was getting moved from temporary place after temporary place from social care. I wasn't in foster care anymore at that point. I was living by myself, but in temporary living. And there was a lot going on in my head. I wasn't talking to a lot of family. and I was struggling quite bad. But luckily the police and my mum arrived and everything was sorted out. I was taken into hospital where I was seen after waiting nearly 9 hours in a waiting room to be spoken to. I was then put onto a team of the mental health team, where they then went on to help me from when I was 18 up until I was about 21, I believe. I'm currently in the process of trying to get back in touch with them because I feel like I do need that kind of support again. I don't feel like I'm at the point where I'd try and attempt anything because I'm nowhere near that. It's just days feel like they're getting longer sometimes. I feel like I'm on the same day. Every day's on repeat constantly. That's why I'm currently looking into trying to get a job and everything again, because I think mentally that will put my head in the right place. I know some people will say it will do the opposite. It will just stress me out. It will make me even more sad and depressed. But I reckon from past experience, it's helped me out. It's lifted my mood massively. I mean, I'm in a good spot now. Obviously, I still struggle. Everyone still struggles, you know. Everyone has their personal battles to get past. But obviously, I'm doing fine now. Obviously, I'm not completely perfect. I'm not completely fine. No one is completely perfect. It's just the fact is, I still struggle every day. I still struggle with life. I struggle with what I'm going to do the next day. But I know I've got that support around me. I've got family that care about me. And I've got friends that do care about me also. But as we're bringing this topic to an end, I just want everyone to know there is support out there. You can reach out. Just make that first step. Just make that first step. Speak out. Say how you feel. Let people know how you feel. But other than that, I'm going to end that there. I've been Life of Tyler. Twixie's snoring over there. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Peace.
I can't sleep properly anymore. I don't have a sleeping pattern. I have a sleeping freestyle. I am literally freestyling my sleeping schedule. It's not even a schedule, bro. It's not a schedule anymore. I just put my head to bed and I sleep whenever, wherever.
Things to always remember. Making mistakes is part of life. Not everyone has to like you, it's okay. Tomorrow is a brand new day. Saying no is okay. Beauty and strength come from within. It's okay to start over as often as you need. It's never too late. Take one step at a time. Go easy on yourself. You're doing your best. Focus on the things you can control. Perfect doesn't exist. You deserve good things. You matter.
Listen to these words very carefully. If you get fat, people think you eat too much. If you lose weight, people think you're sick. If you dress well, you're showing off. If you dress simple, you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you don't, you're a coward. If you're successful, you're arrogant. If you're struggling, you're lazy. If you're honest, you're naive. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always criticize you without fail. So do whatever makes you happy, do whatever fulfills you, and build your dream life, one day at a time. If you're not following us, there's a big chance you'll never hear my voice again. But if you are, congratulations, you're growing every day.